Newly released video shows a suspect going out the window at the Rock County Jail. How things have changed there since then.
My goal, once I was able to stop it for my child, is what can we do to help all of us and our entire community?
There is a push to prevent bullying amongst kids in Sun Prairie by getting parents involved.
Plus, police weigh in on social media about student pickup problems at Oregon schools, why they're getting involved.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 6.
For the first time, the Rock County Sheriff's Office is releasing this video.
This shows a suspect diving from a second-story window in order to escape. Adam Duxter joins us with how this video led to better security at the jail. Adam?
Well, Eric and Charlotte, that video you just saw part of actually happened in October when police arrested Quantrill Schwartzlow at Orfordville High School for child pornography and sexual assault charges. And when he was brought to the Rock County Sheriff's Office, he originally said he didn't want to talk without a lawyer present. But when a deputy brought him down to a jail cell, he changed his mind and asked to be brought back to the interview room where he was left alone before jumping out of the window. A 12-foot drop in total, and he dropped and then he ran on the run for hours before police caught up with him at a friend's house in Janesville. Captain Todd Christensen says the interview rooms now have reinforced metal screens because of this.
The security screens now are stainless steel. They allow air to flow through, and they are securely bolted to the building. They're not just inside the frame of the actual window. They're actually secured with some pretty solid bolts.
Christensen says the interview rooms were never designed for their actual purpose. In fact, the 100-year-old jail was originally designed to be a hospital. As for Quantrill Schwartzlow, he is currently facing additional charges of escape, but he is being held securely in jail at the Rock County Sheriff's Office.
All right, Adam Duxter reporting in Rock County tonight. Adam, thank you.
A Janesville elementary school teacher is on leave. Police arrested Dennis Brunner Saturday after they found him passed out in the driver's seat of his car. It was in his driveway and still running. Brunner is facing his 4th OWI offense. A nearly 4-hour standoff at a retirement facility on Madison's west side ended peacefully this morning. It started around 11 o'clock last night in the area of Schrader Road and Struck Street. A man called police saying he was worried people were out to get him. When officers arrived on scene, he ran away and broke into the Prairie Park Senior Apartments. While there, he briefly choked a female employee who was eventually able to escape and lock herself in a room. The man then armed himself with a knife and began making suicidal statements. He was eventually taken into custody peacefully and was taken to the hospital.
Governor Tony Evers plans to raise the age for charging juveniles and delay the closure of the state's troubled juvenile prison. The governor released an outline of his juvenile justice plans today, which were to be included in his proposed state budget tomorrow. Governor Evers' campaign on raising the age for charging juveniles as adults from 17 to 18. Wisconsin's one of just 6 states that treats 17-year-olds as adults, and raising the age splits Republicans who control the legislature. Republicans are also hesitant to delay closing Lincoln Hills beyond that 2021 deadline. The governor says more time and $200 million in more money is needed to construct replacement facilities. Turning now to weather, Gary Canalti joins us now with our first alert forecast. Gary?
Eric, we had some snow and freezing drizzle this morning. Now skies have actually cleared out very nicely, and you can see we've had a pretty nice sunset here in southern Wisconsin. Doppler track shows the snow from earlier today moving off to the east. Pretty much is cleared out of the state. Low temperatures this morning, thanks to the cloud cover, were in the upper single digits to the lower to middle teens. High temperatures today right around the 20-degree mark, give or take a degree or two. Here in Madison, we topped out at 19. Current temperatures are back into the middle teens, and with the snow cover and the relatively clear skies overnight, those temperatures will fall off pretty quickly. We do have some snow on the way from Friday afternoon into Friday night, about a 1 to 3 inch snowfall expected into early Saturday morning. But by tomorrow morning, look for skies to be partly cloudy. Temperatures will drop off to around 0. Winds will be light, so there won't be much of a wind chill. High temperatures tomorrow will be up around 22 as skies turn cloudy. Could even see a few flurries in the afternoon. That's your first alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. Sun Prairie parents say they want a way to hold other parents accountable if their children are bullies. City alders are proposing a law change aiming to do just that. Rose Schmidt sat down with a mother who says this proposal is a step in the right direction.
It's scary when you find out it's your kid.
It's something no parent ever wants to go through.
My first goal was to stop it as quickly as possible.
And that's exactly what Rajat Kobi says she did back in October, after finding out her 12-year-old daughter was being bullied by a group of middle school girls.
At one point, they cornered her when she was all by herself, and they had a large number of them saying that they were going to, basically beat her, you know what, and that could happen anywhere. That could happen in a bathroom, that could happen behind the school.
There's things that happen after school.
That's where Sun Prairie Alder Maureen Crombie comes in. She's proposing a citywide anti-bullying ordinance modeled after a law Monona enacted in 2013.
It's basically just another tool in the toolbox.
The ordinance prepared for by the city administrator covers all types of harassment. That includes bullying, whether it's verbal, physical, or even electronic.
An opportunity to bring parents, police, and the school district together to take a stand against harassment.
The one thing that people have a concern about is the fact that they are going to be issuing tickets. The tickets could be anywhere from $50 to $1,000, it says in the ordinance.
But parents in support of the proposal acknowledge that it's not necessarily the punishment that's important, but the conversation that comes with it.
Although it's really scary to be the parent of a bullied child, we were able to stop it quickly. There's other families that aren't so lucky.
In hopes of talking about bullying issues and preventing another family from going through what hers went through.
The school district can't mandate that the parents come to the table, but law enforcement can. And when they do that, the parents are mandated to get involved.
A spokesperson says the Sun Prairie Area School District hasn't taken a stance on the ordinance yet, but there are many programs in place to prevent bullying. The proposal will be brought up in the city's Youth and Family Commission next Thursday. There is an effort underway to help local students improve access to mental health care. The Plaid Umbrella Project hopes to provide ways to improve mental health wellness. Last summer, 2 young people in Mount Horeb died by suicide, and a 10-year-old's death is still being investigated as a possible suicide. The project is a partnership between the Mount Horeb Area School District and the city's Mental Health and Wellness Coalition.
We see the umbrella as a sign of protection and ultimately a sign of compassion. And so we want folks to know that they can come underneath that umbrella with us and they'll find compassion.
The logo was designed with purpose. The green stripes represent those who live with mental illness, while the blue and orange stripes symbolize support from the school district and the coalition. The project is trying to attain goals put in place at a community forum last August.
And other parents in Southwest Wisconsin are learning more about a plan to increase class sizes at their children's school. The Iowa Grant District believes the increase will help district test scores. They believe cutting class sections from 4 to 3 in grades 4K through 3rd grade will free up a teacher to do other things like give more support to underachieving students. District leaders say they believe it's the best way to use their limited resources, but there has been some pushback online from parents, and a school board meeting is happening right now. We'll have more from that meeting tonight at 10. Picking up a child from school can often mean long lines, but traffic is so congested at some schools in the Oregon district that police have now gotten involved. The city's police department posted this picture of a vehicle blocking a crosswalk, writing, "Not only is this illegal, but leads to safety issues." Parents are equally concerned. We spoke to a number of them waiting to pick up their students. Some say the district is not doing much to fix the problem.
Nothing has changed, no. Still a madness cluster every single morning, every single afternoon.
And the Oregon district sent News 3 now a statement. It says in part, quote, "We provide parents with maps and safety tips for dropping off and picking up their children from school. We've also added staff during these times to help keep traffic moving."
Dane County's Park Commission is looking to accept a $146,000 grant to resurface the Capital City State Trail. A 6-mile stretch of the trail between Fish Hatchery and Seminole Highway was fixed last year. The work also included new warning signs at crossings. This grant money would go toward that rehab. 2 Madison area chefs have received one of the top honors in the culinary world. Tori Miller and Johnny Hunter are 2019 James Beard Award semifinalists. Miller of L'Etoile was named as a semifinalist in the Outstanding Chef category. Miller and L'Etoile have been nominated numerous times. Hunter of Four Quarter received a 2019 James Beard Award nod for Best Chef Midwest. This is the 5th consecutive ranking. You can read more about their honors at channel3000.com. It is a problem Dane County deputies experience on a regular basis.
And it's one that state data shows isn't going anywhere. We're going over the newly released domestic violence numbers next on News 3 Now at 6. The Wisconsin Department of Justice released domestic violence statistics from 2017 today.
The data shows that the number of incidents hasn't changed much through the years. Chris Lewinberg walks us through the numbers.
With the release of new domestic abuse statistics, law enforcement agencies and advocacy groups will be using the data to inform strategies to lower domestic violence incidents. Hidden in the numbers and graphs of the DOJ's 2017 domestic violence data is a timely reminder.
There's still a perception that domestic violence doesn't happen here, and the reality is that it does.
Across the state, there were 29,809 incidents of domestic violence in 2017, compared to 28,868 in 2016. In just Dane County, there were 2,823 incidents in 2017 and 2,832 in 2016. Domestic Abuse Intervention Services says that despite the seeming stagnation, they've actually seen a significant increase in calls.
Nationally, less than 1/4 of domestic violence is ever reported to law enforcement. So when we see numbers like this, what that picture tells me is that we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg.
According to the Dane County Sheriff's Office, officers are constantly encountering domestic violence incidents.
Sometimes these are the most dangerous calls that they respond to. It's probably also one of our most common calls to respond to during a shift.
According to advocates, to lower the numbers, the long-term change needs to be one of perception.
People say, well, I don't know anybody, and you do. They just may not have told you about what they're experiencing.
I'm Chris Lewinberg, News 3 Now.
If you are experiencing domestic violence, you can call Domestic Abuse Intervention Services.
You can reach their helpline at area code 608-251-4445. And still to come, how a little girl's love of dogs is providing comfort during a difficult time.
And we have several alert days in our future. Gary's talking about some cold days ahead in his first alert forecast.
A terminally ill girl from Wisconsin is asking for letters from dogs to comfort her.
7-year-old Emma Mertens is fighting a rare and inoperable brain tumor, according to a GoFundMe page in her honor. The family is asking for donations and letters from dogs. This flyer has been making the rounds on social media. We also have it on our website showing where to send your letter. We're told Emma's already received hundreds of letters since sharing about her wish on social media.
Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joining us now with a look at our first alert forecast, and we're almost to March. It's going to be a chilly start to the month.
I don't think my dog, Joe, would want to write a letter at this time about the weather anyway. He's not liking it too much. I think a lot of pets are not, and they're not going to like the forecast as we head into early next week for another round of bitterly cold air. At least the snow and the freezing drizzle we had earlier this morning heading on out into Michigan. So things very quiet across southern Wisconsin, but another snow system will be on its way for Friday afternoon into Friday night and early Saturday morning. Could bring about 1 to 3 inches of snow through much of southern Wisconsin, a little heavier amounts toward north and west, and a narrow band that'll go back into Minnesota and northern Iowa. But this big storm system will kind of come together farther to our east. So at this point, it's going to be the bitterly cold air that we'll be dealing with at the end of the storm. That'll be from Sunday into Monday and Tuesday. So we have alert days in the forecast for all 3 days. Look at those low temperatures. Near 5 below zero Sunday morning, but near 10 below zero from Monday and Tuesday morning. And wind chills could be as cold as 25 to 30 below zero early in the morning. Daytime high temperatures probably struggling to get up to 10 on Sunday and Monday, maybe into the mid-teens on Tuesday. But even during the day, wind chills will stay below zero all day. So that's why we have those alert days in the forecast. Live view from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville. That looks pretty. The sun just setting in the western sky. Same thing here at the WISC Skycam, looking off toward the west. A beautiful red sunset. The Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison showing mostly clear skies over the downtown. As we check out our almanac for today, the high temperature topped out at 19 degrees, the low temperature at 11, so well below the averages of 35 and 19. That's where we should be for this time of year. And while if the averages go up, our temperatures will go down over the next few days. 15 the current temperature with partly cloudy skies. Wind chill right now at 8 degrees above zero. Wind chills won't be much of a factor, at least in the short term. Pretty active weather pattern continues. This is very typical for the end of February and March as energetic jet streams continue to cross the Pacific Ocean. The subtropical jet stream now passing near and south of the Hawaiian Islands. The polar jet stream actually has been bulging northward, bringing some milder conditions into Alaska, but that then buckles the northern branch of the jet stream and eventually will start bringing some cold air southward. It's already into the northwestern part of the country and feeding into a winter storm that's been dumping snowfall in the range of several feet across the central portions of California, and then a lot of rain along the coast. But as these storm systems head to our east, notice the jet stream has dipped a little bit to the south, so it'll take the main track, at least for the bigger storm systems, down closer to the Ohio River over the next couple of days. That storm on Friday will just be on the northern fringes of, but at least in the short term, this little weak weather system coming through, bringing some flurries that could reach us tomorrow, then maybe some light snow later on Friday. High pressure is located just out to the west. That's cold Canadian high pressure, keeping temperatures mainly in the single digits and teens. But notice down to the south, temperatures are in the 50s as far north as the Ohio River. So that's a sign spring is trying to catch on, at least in parts of the country that don't have a lot of snow on the ground. Futurecast computer models show the clouds moving back in for tomorrow. Maybe a couple of flurries in the afternoon, a little break in the cloud cover tomorrow night, and then the better chances for snow arrive on Friday afternoon into Friday night and should be out of here by very early on Saturday morning. So our forecast calls for a low temperature of 0 for tonight with partly cloudy skies, at least with the light winds. Wind chill should not be much of a factor. For tomorrow, look for a high temperature of around 22 degrees. We'll cloud up, maybe see a few flurries in the afternoon. On future track for southern Wisconsin, again, partly cloudy skies overnight. Temperatures dropping to around 0. High temperatures tomorrow, lower 20s, maybe a couple of flurries in the afternoon. Another break in the clouds tomorrow night, allowing temperatures to go back into the single digits. And then on Friday, thicker clouds move in. The snow chances start to arrive later in the afternoon. High temperatures generally in the middle 20s. As we check out the snowfall amounts from Friday night into Saturday, about a 1 to 3 inch snowfall over much of southern Wisconsin. Heavier amounts back toward the north and west into the La Crosse area. But that 10-day forecast, well, bitterly cold weather with low temperatures near 10 below 0, highs only in the single digits for the weekend. By the end of next week, we could be looking at a system that could bring us some snow or rain.
Badger football fans won't be complaining about Alex Hornibrook anymore. He's leaving. The story's coming up in sports.
Hi, I'm Michelle Corolla. Tonight on the news at 9, a question and answer session tonight about class sizes in the Iowa Grant School District. We'll take you there. It's first on Fox at 9.
Some Badger football news out of the blue tonight. Quarterback Alex Hornibrook has entered the NCAA transfer portal and is looking for a new place to play football. Hornibrook has been the Badgers' starting quarterback for the majority of the last 3 seasons, compiling a 26-6 record as that starter. But this season, it was cut short by what was always described as concussion symptoms, and Jack Cohn started the last 5 games, including the Pinstripe Bowl. With 5-star recruit Graham Mertz coming in to compete for the starting job too, Hornibrook has decided to leave the Badgers. He'll get his degree in business in May and can transfer and play somewhere else next season. When the Badger men's basketball team hosts Iowa a week from tomorrow, the Hawkeyes won't have their head coach. The Big Ten today suspended Fran McCaffrey for 2 games for criticizing referees after Iowa's loss to Ohio State last night. So McCaffrey won't be at the Kohl Center to face the Badgers March 6th. Badgers got back home from Indiana about 3 in the morning. It was a tough night all around. 9 o'clock local start time, then a double overtime game with Romeo Langford getting the winning layup with just under a second to go. Indiana won 75-73 in 2 overtimes. That stopped a 5-game losing streak for the Hoosiers. The Badgers stayed in 5th place behind Maryland in the Big Ten standings. The top 4 teams don't have to play the first 2 days of the Big Ten tournament in Chicago, so Wisconsin would love to get into 4th place. The sun's out in Arizona. The Brewers host the Cleveland Indians in Maryvale. Here's a look into the Brewers' future. Corey Ray was the 5th overall pick in the 2016 draft. He hits a long home run today. Still might be a year or 2 away, but Corey Ray is coming. The Indians can hit homers too. Jake Bowers and Lee Jen-Chu hit consecutive bombs off Brewers pitcher Trey Supak. Final score, Cleveland 6, Milwaukee 1. The WIA State Hockey Tournament begins tomorrow at Alliant Energy Center. Starting next year, there will be 2 divisions of boys hockey, but this year, it's the usual 8 boys teams in the field, including the Verona area Wildcats. They were pretty feisty this morning when they hit the Coliseum ice for their practice at 8 a.m. And why not? The Wildcats are at state for the 2nd year in a row. Last year, Verona made it to the state semifinals. Now they're back.
First of all, it's just enjoy your experience, but I mean, coming that close from last year, making it to the final, just gotta keep pushing, keep working at it, and we'll just do all the little things, and we'll get there.
We had a great group of guys. The leadership from our goaltending on out, our senior leaders in defense. We knew we'd have that defensive core if our offense could score some goals, and it's something that we had some guys step up.
The Verona boys' first game is just after noon tomorrow when the Wildcats play Eau Claire North in the 2nd quarterfinal of the day. The Sun Prairie Co-op, the Capital City Cougars, will play in the girls' state semifinals Friday morning at 10 at Alliant Energy Center. And last night we wrapped up our 12th season of the Prep Mania Game of the Week. Lodi beat River Valley in boys basketball. But River Valley senior Sammy Rosenberg made his last game memorable. He hit a half-court shot at the end of the first half. Lodi won 64-54, but Sammy Rosenberg put a cap on another great season for the Game of the Week. Thanks to all the athletic directors and the coaches and John Boyle, Bill Brophy, our crew. Had fun.
And you finished with a playoff game. It's nice to have that March feel.
It had a different feel. The band was playing the whole bit. Yeah.
Big stuff.
Weather didn't seem like much.
No, the weather.
This time of year.
Still winter basketball season.
Take a look at these temperatures. I mean, we should be in the mid-30s right now. Right now, we're in the teens. About 1 to 3 inches of snow on the way for Friday afternoon into Friday night, and then alert days for bitterly cold temperatures for the early part of next week. Highs only in the single digits, lows to 10 below 0.
Gary, thank you. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Have a great evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.